Alright, before we begin, I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers before Minhootie. Great guy, but it's just a fun little race. So, before we start, if you can just do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot, and let's jump into the video. What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and today we just got some crazy releases. We just got an early look at PRB02. So in today's video, we're going to talk about PRB02, the best Volume 2 set, and all the reprints we've seen, what we know about the set. So this will have all the new reprints, and it'll also recap in case you haven't seen that much. We'll touch on everything just a little bit briefly, but give you all the information you need to know about PRB02, the set. But I think the biggest thing is we saw our first EB01 card, which is like the #1 question everybody's been asking. And I will just go ahead and jump the gun. It's not Bon Clay, okay? It's not Bon Clay, but this set is looking to be incredibly good. So let's go ahead and jump in. So first off, for those unfamiliar with this set, they announced that the biggest thing, I think, and this is kind of like more, they did this for the Japan market because last PRB just added in Sanji. This time they're adding in 18 cards with 2 rares of every color and then 1 super rare for every color for a total of 16 new cards. We'll briefly look at some of these cards and we'll go from there. But they are really cool, so it's going to give a buff to a bunch of existing decks, a bunch of very popular decks, so it's very cool that they're doing this, and it kind of just, gives a little bit more value because they weren't, it's funny because here, because our cards are so expensive, we sold out, but in Japan, they're not expensive, so they were like, you could find PRB in any store when you go to Japan. Every single store has PRB, and they've done multiple iterations of the product as well, whereas the States never saw this. And so for those also, this is releasing in July for Japan, so over the next month, we're going to get a ton of spoilers on what's going to be reprinted, which is going to be great, but it's also going to have a heavy impact on our market as well. We do not get this until October, so that's worth noting. So we, of course, have this new Otama. The Otama is, I want to say, a Yamato card. I think you get to take the card from your life and then gain plus 3,000 power, and then the trigger rests a character. Shiryu he's a 4-cost, and then when he's KO'd, you can KO a base 4. He's also a blocker if your leader's Blackbeard, and he's an 8-cost, essentially. So he's harder to KO. Galdino's a blocker. And yeah, and he lets you draw cards. I think he does something, but I think it's like you rest. If he gets rested, or if your card gets rested, you can trash him and draw 2 cards. Then there's Bonnie. Bonnie restands a Don at the end of your turn, or when your opponent attacks, you restand a Don. So it's pretty incredible there. Really good card. And then, so it's like a new 3 Don curve. This one is like draw 2, trash 1, I think. If you have a character with 6,000 power, you draw 2, trash 1. And then this is just a searcher. It's just a new searcher for purple for Straw Hats. And then its trigger, you get to use it as well. Yeah, you get to play it. You get to play it if you trigger it. So you can get a body, which is pretty neat. And then, so this is like the big thing, right? And it's kind of, this is Power Creep Maximus. This is power creep at its highest level, high-performing power creep. We have this Monkey D. Luffy. This card is insane in Gurple Luffy. It's a supernova and a straw hat. Your turn on play, if your leader is multicolored Gurple and your opponent has 7 or less Dawn cards on their field, at the start of your opponent's main phase, your opponent rests one of their active Dawns. So it essentially makes one of their Dawn rested. So you play this on 4 in the mirror. They go to 5. They cannot play Sanji Pudding, and then you should just snowball from there. And then, yeah, then you can do it again, and they can only Sanji Pudding. It's pretty disgusting. This card's insane. Prevents your opponent from playing on curve potentially twice, because then you go 6. You play this there at 5. Oh, no Beckman. Like, this card is absolutely insane. It does have that multicolor requirement, but even like Bounce Law or like Red Green Law can play this as well. So there's a lot of potential for it there. Just a lot. I mean, this is insanely impactful for any green multicolored leader. And I think it's just a drop in the bucket of what we can look to see. And I think, again, it's kind of like that because we have to drive shareholder value. We need to please key stakeholders. So we need to make this as good as possible and make all these cards desirable. So we open the product. So I think we're just going to get insanely powerful cards. One, but insanely powerful cards nonetheless. Now, let's go ahead and talk about these reprints. So we're going to go through here and show the arts for what was seen today. We see this is the 9-cost Shanks from the Uda structure deck. So they're reprinting like a lot from the structure decks, which is really good because we see Usohachi here. Usohachi in Japan was actually really expensive as well. So this is an incredibly good reprint. I'm glad they did these because the decks, like, you know, they're not like printing PRB right now as far as we know. And so we haven't really gotten any restocks on these. So reprinting the good cards from those decks is great for the long term and longevity of the game. Especially considering that Usohachi is a common. And then we have Edward Newgate. This is the Rest Newgate. So this one is really cool. He just got a reprint before as well, but this one looks very nice. You can see little Ors Jr. in the background. We see it looks like that's Marco. I'm incredibly excited to see this in like HD and see this in person, but I love what they do. And these are all great alts. And then we see even more. So we talked EB01. You know what this card is? Finger Pistol. This card is, as of today, it was a $10 TCG single. Hopefully, we should see a price decrease over the next couple months. Again, you still have 4 months worth of play cooked into that value, so keep that in mind. But Finger Pistol just isn't as prevalent right now anyways, with Marshall D. Stinky not mattering too much and not having any showing so far. But we have Vegas this weekend, so we'll see. And then we, of course, have Tony Chopper here. You might be a little confused because you see Sanji, but it is, make no mistake, the Spokuwa Doctor. And we got a nice little reprint here. Let me know which one of these alts are your favorite. I'm really leaning this. This is actually kind of tough. And then we have, this is the Dress Rosa Zoro. And I love it because he still has... Dang, now I can't even remember. Shisui? Is that the name of this sword? Shisui? And I think, you know, in my opinion, I don't think he ever should have lost that sword. But, you know, I like this sword. Anyways, so I really like this art. It's very cool. But, yeah, it's Dressrosa. Cross. Mind hacked them. So then we're going to kind of recap just a little bit more here. So these are some new alts as well, and we'll talk about these. But we, of course, see the new event as an alt as well. So it seems that this is the new direction that they will be taking going forward for event alts. Or at least for some, because, I mean, we just saw Finger Pistol, so it's really interesting. But this should also be in PRB. It's the Searcher event for Red Hair Pirates. And then you also see, so PRB will have like these. So last time we had the Jolly Roger rares, the Straw Hat rares, as I call them. Now we have there's a variety of ones. We got the Bitcoin Buggy here. Some might call that a berry. But we got the Bitcoin Buggy. And there's a variety. There's Usohachis with these as well. And it's great because I think Usohachi is just going to be like $1 now, which is going to be huge. But we also see new alts of Basil Hawkins from OP10, if you're familiar with the Kaido Linlin Hawkins combo. And then we have the Bounce Saw. So this is another one of those structure deck cards. Now, this one, I was like, who is this guy? Chat, who is this guy? Let me know in the comments below. But it's Lime Juice. That's Lime Juice. I literally had to search and find the characters matched, and I was not getting Lime Juice from this at all. I was like, what? 332K. So, you know, we're getting a new buff for Shanks. A new alt. We have Hongo alts. We have this alt. We have Building Snake alts. Deck's almost completely altable. We also got the Treasure Rare Lucky Roo. And then we have Burgess, your favorite 4-drop, 12K, can't be KO'd vanilla. Very balanced. Also, we get to see Zoro and Sanji both reprinted in this set as well, which is huge. Sanji was actually one of the few secret rares that actually became very expensive in Japan. And Zoro's kind of already cheap and rumored to be reprinted in a new set already. So, double reprint, allegedly. But he's getting an alt, so you guys can look forward to that. And then just to kind of recap so everybody can like see it, we've got the cards here. in English. That way you can see. We don't see Sabo's alt, but previously they confirmed the only 2 cards they ever confirmed was Trafalgar Law, Traffy, and Sabo. So we had those 2. We don't know what Sabo's alt looks like yet, / if he's getting one, but we do know he is reprinted. And we know Edward Newgate. We know Burgess. We know Finger Pistol. We know Shanks. From the structure deck, this is how you can see them all here in English. Very visible. And then we've got Tony Chopper, Bokuwa Doctor. This is the Rono Zoro. There's the Shanks again. And then we've got Uso Hachi. So we got Uso Hachi. And we've got Lime Juice. And we got Basil Hawkins. And so this is the Hawkins, Trash Life, Lime Juice, no blockers. And then Uso Hachi, rest that blocker. And then, so of course, with PRB, we also get new Don for leaders. And those have been revealed previously as well. So we, of course, see a new Marshall D. Stinky, a.k.a. Marshall D. Teach, a.k.a. Blackbeard, a.k.a. Stinkbeard. Here with a new one with the 2 dual Devil Fruits. And then we, of course, see the Genius Jester, Buggy D. Clown, with a Don here. And then we see this is Luffy doing like the Gum Stomp lightning thingy. And then we have Shanks. I'm so fired up for this. I will be using these. We also see Yamato. So they're not afraid to revisit leaders either. So Yamato once again getting a Don in this set. So we could very well see other leaders as well. I mean, it's hard to say like when it comes to Luffy, because there's so many Luffy leaders, right? Like you just have to have Luffy's. And then we also see a Jory Bonnie with the pizza. So these are all of the... I think this is all the Don. There might be a couple more. I just wanted to include a few for the recap, but so everyone who might not know has an idea of what the Don looks like. Let me know in the comments below which reprint are you looking forward to the most, and be sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot.